beautiful souls. It is so lovely to be here with you guys once again in my little studio sanctuary. I am your host, Star Lotus. I am a Reiki master, crystal alchemy sound bowl healer, energy codes coach and facilitator, singer songwriter, jewelry artist, artist just in general. If you follow my pages and watch my stories, you'll see I'm always doing some kind of creative thing. And it is so lovely to have you guys here in my space today. So, as you read on the title of the sound healing tonight, we are working with the energies of this Cancer new moon. And I'm on TikTok again. I hope you guys can hear me this time because I had a little technical difficulties with the sound last time, but we're back in the game. So I want to go through a little bit about what's going on with this Cancer new moon. Once again, I'm not an astrologer. I just really feel like astrology really brings out a lot of what's going on in the times and in our lives, and I like to kind of touch on that, blend it with kind of some of the stuff that I've been listening to, and also some of the experiences that I've been feeling are kind of in the collective. So tonight we gather beneath the veil of the Cancer new moon, a tender, nurturing, and powerful moment in the lunar cycle that invites us inward, back home to ourselves. Cancer is a sign of the sacred inner sanctuary. Ruled by the moon, it governs our emotional landscape, our memories, our longing to feel safe, seen, and held. This new moon reminds us that the most important relationship we'll ever cultivate is the one that we have with ourselves. Who are we when we sit in silence? What emotions surface when we soften our guard? What parts of us are ready to be seen, acknowledged, and integrated? This lunation also marks a halfway point through the astrological year, a natural moment of pause and reflection. We're being invited to reassess where we've been, honor how far we've come, and gently reevaluate the intentions we're carrying forward. What are we still holding on to that no longer supports our becoming? And how can we compost that material, turning it into fertile ground for new seeds? Even the most difficult experiences of the last 6 months carry wisdom. There is medicine in the grief, growth in the letting go. Can we see these moments with gratitude, not because they were easy, but because they shaped us? Cancer teaches us that we don't need to control everything. What we can control is how we breathe through the chaos, how we treat our bodies and one another, how we tend to the nervous system, how we anchor into grace amidst the wild waves. These are the small choices that ripple outward into the collective field. You may be feeling both expansion and contraction in different areas of your life right now. That's okay. It's a sign that you're shifting. Growth isn't always linear. It pulses like the tides, and just like the ocean, this moon calls you to flow, to listen, and to create. So with the Jupiter Cazimi, there's a great opening here, a portal of creativity, clarity, and emotional truth. New ideas may be stirring in your dreams, in your belly, in the quiet corners of your being. Trust them. Let them rise. This is the moon for dreaming the dream, for planting the seeds of the world you long to live in. And in this fertile space, I want to introduce a powerful concept from the energy codes, something called your signature vibration. This is the unique energetic frequency of your soul's true essence. It's who you are beyond your thoughts, beyond your emotions, beyond the roles you play. It's what remains when you're fully present in your body, centered in your heart, connected to the source. When you live from your signature vibration, you move through life not from fear or reaction, but from deep coherence with your highest self. Tonight we'll be tuning into that through sound, through breath, through presence. And so now I want to touch on a little bit with you guys, and I kind of want to reiterate what I said right here. You move through life not from fear or reaction, but from deep coherence with your highest self. So if you guys go back into my other sound healings, you're going to see one on the post-Scorpio full moon where I introduce this chart and I go into a lot of detail with it. Today we're going to go into kind of the other part that goes with this chart, which is the trap door. But I just wanted to show you guys this one again and just give you a little reminder. And we'll just, we're always hitting clouds when I bring this one out. give you a little reminder of this is the human bioenergetic, the flow of the bioenergetic fields. And so this is when your system is flowing good, the energy comes down, it hits the floor, it comes around, and everything's flowing, it can go right through. But what happens when there's spaces where the energy isn't flowing, where there's areas where the circuitry isn't online? Well, when your energy comes down and it hits the lower chakras or the earth and then it comes back up, it has to go around those areas. And that's when you kind of feel wobbly. And when you get out to your toric field, your energy kind of gets distorted and you get wobbly. It's kind of when you start feeling shaky, when you're getting anxious or things like that. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about the trap door today. So if you want to hear more of an explanation on the flow of bioenergetics, you can hop on over to the, I believe it's the post-Scorpio full moon one that I did maybe a month ago, I think. But today I wanted to go into a little bit more in depth. And we've gone into this before, but this one is one of my favorites because it puts a lot of perspective into things. So I want to go through this one again today. And so we'll actually... Can we set this here and still see it? I think we can set it. Well, I got a phone and another thing, so we're going to hold it actually. So this is the trap door. So this is like your conscious, your subconscious mind and how that all communicates, okay? So a lot of the times we form our protective personality, the part of us that tries to keep ourselves safe. We form that before the age of 3, most definitely before the age of 13. And that's the part of us that when we feel something that doesn't feel right and we go, and then we back away. And sometimes that can be good. Sometimes we're in touch with our intuition and we know when something is not safe and we can sense it and we're there. But a lot of the times, especially now, we live in such a high anxiety society that a lot of the times you start feeling shaky for things that are maybe excitement or things that are going to be good in your life. So let's look at this trapdoor here. So let's say that we see a bear. Okay, so your conscious mind goes, oh my gosh, there's a bear. Your memory is going to look that up and your memory is going to go, okay, there's a bear. I need to run. So your system's going to go into fight or flight, okay? So there's, you have different reactions. We have fight, flight, freeze, and sometimes we have fawn as well. So your conscious mind goes, oh my God, there's a bear. Your memory goes, oh, run. And what do? We start running and we're breathing up here. We're up in our upper lobes of our lungs. We're in panic. We're in fight or flight. And you'll realize when there's a time that you're excited to do something or maybe something's triggering to you, you start feeling that wobble in your energy field. You'll realize that there's times where you're or you just can't even take a big deep belly breath. You're just you're so up here and you're in this fight or flight, okay? So you see the bear, your memory goes, oh my goodness, run. You're okay, so you're running. And then you see that the bear is gone. Your mind goes, hey, the bear is gone. It looks it up in your memory. And your memory goes, hey, the bear is gone. We can take a deep breath. We can relax. We don't have to run anymore. And what do you normally do? You go, you take a deep belly breath because you're oh, that was a close call. I didn't get in, I fight or flight and I'm good. Now I can go back into healing creative. I don't need to stay in that fight or flight. There's not going to be a bear around every corner, right? So I can go back into healing and creative mode. Well, what happens when there's too many bears coming at the same time? So let's say there is job bear, something at your job is stressing you out. Let's say physical injury bear. Let's say relationship bear. Let's say, something happens in your life that's really big and it's just whoa, this is too much. Okay, so all this is coming in at one time. Your memory's going, oh my God, fight or flight. Oh my goodness, bear. Oh my goodness, bear. And what happens when you start getting overloaded, the trap door between the conscious and the subconscious mind, it slams shut. And now it's overloaded just with that fight or flight energy. It's just stuck in emergency mode, okay? And so when anything that even maybe gets similar to that kind of a vibration that comes, your system just shuts down. It goes straight into emergency mode. That's where some of those areas where the energy isn't flowing is, because sometimes when something happens to us, and like I said, a lot of this happens before the age of 3 that we start developing our protective personality. It's maybe when you're a kid and you see something really cool and you start running, you go across the street. And for you, your excitement, your exploration, you're oh my gosh, look at that thing. I want to go maybe pet that dog. That was me. I always wanted to go pet a dog. I was oh my God, there's a dog. And you'd be running. And this actually reminds me of a time, and it's similar to this, where you're running and you run across the street and your mom goes, no, stop. And then you go, oh no, was my feeling of excitement wrong? Did I do something wrong? And your mom just wants to protect you, and she wants to teach you not to run out in the middle of the street, right? But it stymies you. You go, oh, I was feeling all this really good feeling of exploration or wanting to go pet this cute dog. And then my mom went, no, stop. And this happened to me where I found a dog outside to play with, and then I came inside and I was like dirty because this dog put its paws all over me. And my mom was like, what happened to you? And I was like, I was playing with this dog outside. And she was like, no. She was like, are you okay? Did he bite you? Like, you shouldn't play with strange dogs in here. I was just like, oh my God, a new friend. You know, my mom's like all worried that something could have happened to me with this strange dog, you know, outside when I'm by myself playing on the farm. And so it's like, it kind of stymies you. You go, oh, was it not okay for me to feel just like in this excitement, in this love, in this wanting to make a friend or wanting to go see something or explore? And sometimes you can get stymied for the wrong reasons. So when you're a kid, you can have things happen and childhood trauma, and it can stymie you. And then because it's too much at that time, you don't know how to deal with it, so you kind of push it away. And this is a lot of the times where we disassociate or distract ourselves, or we do what we got to do to get by and just to get through it. But we're literally like pushing it away, and we never really learn how to deal with it because that trap door slammed shut, and now we can't get back into that healing creative mode. So that's kind of where, when you're an adult and things start to happen and you feel triggered, a lot of the times when you start working with this breath work and these embodiment practices, what happens is when you're able to take it to the body, when you're having those feelings, identify where it is and do that breath work that we've been teaching where you breathe in from 2 feet above, full big belly breath, not in fight or flight, not up here, but you take that big belly breath. And then you breathe it into the upper lobes of the lungs. And what that is wisdom in action. So you're breathing into the belly first, then the upper lobes of the lungs. You're expanding into the areas that you're feeling. When you take it to the body, you say, okay, where is this triggering me? Where is this getting to me? Like, why do I feel shaky? Why do I feel so off from this thing? And sometimes it's hard to take it to the body, especially when you're in the midst of something. When something's happening, it can be hard to really take a breath. You'll notice that when you're like really anxious about something, or something really deep has happened in your life, or grief, it can be hard to even take that deep breath into the belly. And that's when it's the most important, because that's when your body's screaming for it the most, and it's showing you without even having to squeeze or trying to dig up a memory. It's showing you exactly where it is. And you can do this with things that are happening currently, and you can do this things that are happening in the past, because you'll notice that there's patterns unfolding in your life. You'll notice that there's layers and layers of things that you're peeling back. Like we always say, healing isn't linear. You're sometimes healing on one thing, and then sometimes you come back to something that you thought you took care of 5 years ago, and a whole nother layer of it comes up. And that's where that breath work is coming in. You're squeezing it, you're peeling back those layers, you're creating circuitry in the energetic system, you're bringing that photon density into the areas. And what happens is, we start breathing into the body like that and squeezing those areas, we're able to kind of like loosen up the gunk in the system, and that energy starts to rise, and that flow starts to flow. And that energy rises, and then that trapdoor can come open, and now the conscious memory and the subconscious memory are communicating, because you have more subconscious memory than you have conscious memory. So a lot of the things that are in your protective personality, you may not even know why you do the things that you do the way that you do them. You've just always done it, and you notice that it's a pattern, but you don't know quite how to stop it. And so that's where connecting into the body, getting really deep into those embodiment practices, squeezing those areas and really breathing in and feeling the pressure of your breath against that, really feeling it stretch open those spaces with that gentle, loving hug that you're giving the muscles around the space that you're feeling it, is going to help break that up, so that trapdoor can open up, so that healing and creative mode can start coming back into the flow of your life, and you can get your bioenergetics flowing back like this and get these areas online. And like I said, I feel like in this life we're definitely going through different layers of that. And I've said before in some of my past sound healings, there's been stuff that I've worked on that I thought I dealt with years ago, and it's come back, and I'm like, okay, let me work on that childhood memory again. And I think, okay, I really had a breakthrough. I had a lot of realizations come from it. And then I'm doing a meditation with my teacher, and it pops right back up in my mind. And I'm like, okay, wow, I didn't even know that I still needed to go there. And it's interesting because it really loosens up not only emotional stuff in the body, but a lot of the pain that we have in our body actually stems from emotional things that we're carrying in ourselves that sometimes we don't even know we're carrying in there. And like me having fibromyalgia and joint hypermobility syndrome and having chronic pain like that, I feel like that has been my journey in this lifetime, to uncover these things and move this energy and find healing within myself and my body. And like, there's layers, and we can go into a whole lot of stuff, and I'm just touching on like the basis of like the fascia system right now. I'm just getting into all that because all that carries all that energy and stagnation, and it's like fluid running in your body. I don't know enough about that to talk about that, but it's all really interesting stuff when you get into the way that the energy flows in the body and chronic pain and the pains that we feel in the body and autoimmune, and just how when we start breathing into the body and opening up these areas and working with some of these past stories that we have and dropping the story and taking it to the body, really getting in there and breathing with what we're feeling and embodying those feelings, not just staying up here in the mind, because that's only going to get you so far. We gotta bring it down into the body. We're here to embody. We're here to find our signature vibration, like we were just talking about. And that signature vibration is like who you are underneath all these layers. What do you just continuously vibrate at? And so we're going to do a little bit of a work with that today as well. So if you want to get a little pen and a paper, you can just make some mental notes. But first I'm going to introduce the bowls, because we have a lovely, lovely set for you guys. So tonight we're going to be working with the key of A major, a frequency that beautifully supports both introspection and integration. These tones were chosen with care to guide you through the energetic terrain of this new moon, and each note has a role to play. So A resonates with the third eye, the seat of inner vision. It helps us attune to intuitive clarity, something we're being called to deepen as we navigate our emotional truths and dream up the next chapter of our lives. C sharp relates to the endocrine system and the reproductive organs, holding the codes of creation and hormonal balance. At its higher octave, it activates the light body and the photonic structure, offering energetic scaffolding for us to embody more light, more truth, and more vibrancy in our physical form. So then we have E, which supports the solar plexus. E, which supports the solar plexus, center of self-worth, personal power, and will. It helps us digest emotion, our own choices, and step into creative leadership in our lives. So this harmonic structure of A, C sharp, and E invites us to bridge the inner world with the outer, to see clearly, feel deeply, and move forward with presence and power. The alchemy bowls we're going to be using tonight bring their own unique resonance to this process. So without further ado, allow me to introduce the bowls and add a little reverb to my voice. That'll always give a little bit more fun to it. So we have A, Mount Shasta Serpentine with Platinum. This bowl calls in the power of ancient energies in Mount Shasta and the deep cleansing power of serpentine. It supports cellular renewal, grounded spiritual awareness, and connection to the Earth's crystalline grids. This platinum softens and harmonizes, encouraging emotional fluidity. And we have a high A-sharp rhodochrosite platinum, a heart-centered frequency that opens pathways of self-compassion and emotional healing. Rhodochrosite invites you to meet your vulnerability with gentleness, while platinum adds an ethereal softness that soothes and regulates the emotional body. Over here we have C sharp, Violet Flame Aura. This powerful bowl assists in deep purification. Violet flame energy is about transmutation, burning away what no longer serves and returning us to the frequency of truth. It aligns beautifully with the Cancer New Moon's call to release, heal, and start anew. High C, Egyptian Blue Platinum. This bowl activates the light body and strengthens the photonic structure, supporting spiritual embodiment and higher consciousness. Egyptian Blue is a rare alchemy that works with ancient wisdom and future vision, helping you to hold more light in your system as you walk your soul path. And then we have E, Great Salt Lake Violet Flame Aura. Lots of violet flame tonight, guys. Like its C-sharp companion, this bowl works on emotional and energetic purification at the level of personal power. It clears self-doubt and fear and infuses the solar plexus with confidence, clarity, and divine will. Then we have a middle E, which is Dead Sea Salt Androgynous Indium. Balancing bowl that supports the endocrine system and the integration of divine and masculine feminine energies. It brings both stillness and strength, harmonizing the body's chemistry with subtle spiritual frequencies. Each bowl is not just an instrument of sound, but an intelligent convergence of energy. Together, they form a vibrational field that mirrors the themes of this evening: intuitive clarity, emotional authenticity, embodiment, purification, and renewal. So, as you lie back and receive the sounds of tonight's sound healing, allow yourself to come home to the pulse of your breath, to the rhythm of your heart, to the truth of your being. Let the sound help you access what's beneath the surface. Let it hold you as you remember your own power, your own tenderness, your own becoming. Welcome home. And I invite you to take that nice, deep belly breath in from 2 feet above your head, pretending you're in an elevator shaft coming down through your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, through your solar plexus and into the belly. Feeling yourself breathing into the belly, slowly through your nose, up the upper lobes of the lungs, and feeling that expansion in the chest. Breathe bigger than the body, and when you're ready, slowly, slowly exhale through the sacral chakra, through the root, through the nose, 2 feet into the ground. Exhale, belly button to spine, really pushing out all that air. I invite you to relax your shoulders down and back, opening your heart space. I invite you to hold Mula Bandha, which is lightly tightening those pelvic floor muscles, which is your root lock, which is going to ground you into the body. As you slowly breathe in from that 2 feet below, into the belly, into the upper lobes of the lungs, breathing big on my website, you can also find, and on my link tree, you can also find my music, my Spotify, Apple Music. And if you go back far enough on YouTube, you can see some of my music videos as well. Once again, it's always a pleasure to have you guys here in my little studio sanctuary with me, serenading you on a Wednesday night. I hope that the rest of your week is peaceful and that you keep working on those parts of yourself that may be coming up at this moment in time. There's a lot of forward movement, but there's also a lot of deep work happening right now, and it's individual and collective. So the more work that we do in our inner worlds, the more that we're able to step onto the outside world and share that